Like in our freehand sketching, whenever we draw arcs or circles in AutoCAD, we want to include center marks to show not only the symmetry that exists, but also the location of the center of our arcs and circles. So we want to include center lines and center marks for this. There's a couple ways that AutoCAD enables you to do this. The easiest way that's going to work, I'd say 80 to 90% of the time for what we're doing is the Centermark command. And this will allow you to select an arc or a circle, and it'll auto-generate a center mark that's just the right size, and it will extend past our object line just like we want our center marks to do. Now, here's it looks a little weird because the XY axes are covering things up. So let me zoom in so they don't. Something really interesting happens. Our center line horizontally and our center line vertically have these breaks in them. And this is going to happen with center lines when they become long. This makes it really clear that they're not object lines, they're center lines because they have breaks in them. You can change how frequently, you can adjust your settings to change how frequently these breaks appear, but we're not going to do that. We're going to leave it alone until we get to like really big stuff where we'll have just breaks everywhere. So for now, we're going to leave that alone. Now, one other thing I want to point out is, let's say you have concentric circles, and you want to use the Centermark command. So you have to figure out, okay, do I put it on the one in the center, or do I put it on the one on the outside, or do I do both? Well, the answer is you don't do both, because if you do both, you get overlapping center lines and center marks, and things look, well, like this, which is not right. This is not right. You want to pick one. In general, you do the outermost one, and you just do that because they're concentric, so you don't need to draw additional center lines. Now, if they weren't concentric, you would use the center mark tool twice, but here they are concentric, so you just want to use it once. Now, let's say over here, you wanted to have a long line that spreads across as opposed to two separate center marks. What you could use is the centerline command, which you'll find here, which draws, which lets you select two points, and it'll draw a center line across them. Now this can get a little bit awkward as you try to get your center marks to line up just in the right spot, which is why we don't generally do this. We just use center mark. But let's say I just wanted to do one center line and nothing vertically, like I would in orthographic projection, then I could do just a center line. Something like that appears very often in orthographic projection, as you guys know. Okay. Now another thing, if you look at these two center marks, in general we would have these two connect to indicate that these centers line up horizontally. So what you can do in order to do that is you can select your center mark, and this will actually let you change how long this line is. You don't want to select here, you want to select on this arrow portion, and you can extend it. Well, you can extend it to the center here. You can do the same thing for the one on the right, because we want to extend them evenly. And I'm going to snap to the end of this center line, and then look at that, it's beautiful, it lines up, it shows us that these two centers are lined up horizontally, it shows symmetry vertically, it's got breaks in it to indicate, well, that's not an object line, it's a center line. So that's how we can do that. All right.